Hello, everybody. I am back with Cher. I don't know if you guys recall, we had an episode previously where we talked about kind of hormone balancing and, wellness and just, listening to your body. Cher is the owner of Be Balanced LA, which is a natural hormone weight loss solution for women who are going through premenopause and menopause and just in general women just looking to live healthier lives. And listen to their bodies. So welcome back, Cher. So happy to have
Thanks.
you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so I know that your story is so empowering to me because you said to me in the first our first podcast that like when you were pregnant and you had all those hormones in you, like you thought you were like you wanted to get like divorced and you were like, "Oh my God," but it was really your body and your hormone imbalance kind of telling you like something's off here.
hmm
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, for sure. Looking back, it was like a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think like that's the importance too of like as we're like I know you live in beautiful LA. Unfortunately, I live in New Jersey. Well, not unfortunately, but I live in New Jersey. We're on two separate sides of the coast, but I think as we like head into the holiday season, head into like for us winter, jealous of you and your weather and your, sunny out there, but I think we have to listen to our bodies even more because I feel like it's just even more stressful like during this time of year.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, there's so much joy during the season, getting together, but I do find that we do compromise a little bit of ourselves
Mhm.
to the duty of taking care of others and engaging in social activities. And it could cost a couple days of bloating and a couple pounds here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess like because even me, like I'll be perfectly honest, like I've told myself like I've been really like these last couple of months like been going back to the gym and I've been so like regimented and I'm like, "Oh, but Thanksgiving is coming." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to like eat a lot." But I'm like, "Wait, like you don't have to. Like you can do whatever you want on Thanksgiving." But I think like too like there's like a little bit of like overindulgence I feel like during the holidays. I don't know if you feel the same way. That like it's like, oh yeah, as you said, like there's more activities, of course, like a lot of times there's alcohol at these activities and like it's just more things going on in your social calendar that you normally don't have, so just to be mindful of that. But it's like I kind of guilt myself sometimes. I'm like, yeah, it's like it's the holidays, like you should enjoy yourself, but it's also like no, like stay on track, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you think about it, some of these like holiday meals, it's really just one meal out
Yes,
of
you're
what,
right.
21 meals a week? It's
Yeah.
one day. And I'm all about with my clients. I'm like, I want you to live your life. It's not that I want to deprive you. Enjoy yourself, but let's come up with a game plan. Let's
Yeah.
know now that we know your body, now that we know what causes issues, what are we going to do that day after? What's that day
Yeah.
after? What does that look like? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what so for me, like, and even me, like, if you let's say overindulge in a night, like, whatever, like eat it, maybe you just eat a little too much or just, whatever, you're just having a good time. What do you do, like, how to kind of like reset your body that next morning?
Ooh, that next day. Well, we have
Yeah.
this special concoction drink. It's our
Okay.
detox drink. So you mix a little apple cider vinegar with lemon and warm water. It doesn't
Okay.
taste the best, but it tastes better when it's with hot or warm water. You can tell yourself it's like a tea. But that is a
Okay.
great way to rehydrate you, flush things out, and just do a little bit of a detox, especially if you're bloated or your weight jumps up by like 2 pounds the next day. I'm all about that detox drink.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
just
during
yeah.
this season, I'm all about like the probiotics and your enzymes. So
Mm.
we have our super digest supplement, and I already know I can like look around. You want to live your life. You need your probiotics, and most people
Okay.
do need your enzymes to support your gut as we're going out there and having fun.
Yeah, no, and I know we were talking about gut health before we got on this call, but you opened my eyes to like, and it's been like, I know there's companies out there like, I've used Viome in the past. I'm sure you would be more well versed in the companies that like you send your saliva or even like your poop to them and they evaluate it and they tell you what's best for your gut. But like in general, in addition to the supplements and everything that Be Balanced offers, like what would you say are like your like non-negotiable like great foods for your gut?
Mm. Well, we love the non-starchy veggies,
Okay.
especially the non-nightshades. So I personally am a little anti-tomato,
Oh, you're into
especially if
okay.
anyone, a little bit. You can bring it in,
Okay, you're
but
allowed.
most people do have some reaction. I do see clients like not losing weight when they bring in that tomato. But yeah, the non-starchy veggies, non-nightshades, and some clients do have a reaction with cruciferous veggies. So, the spinach, the asparagus, onions, um, a lot of those are like those are the safer non-starchy veggies. And yeah, with like whole protein, whole foods, um, and fruits. So we're all just about like shopping around the market on the outside of the market. Um, but if you want to bring those other foods back in, like just know that you got to take care of your gut. It's so easy for it to get back out of whack, even though you did a reset. We did a reset together within a couple weeks. It's really easy for your body to go back. So it takes some maintenance and some mindfulness to keep yourself balanced.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. Like I guess like out of curiosity, because this is like a whole new world for me. Because as I always say to people, like I'm very cerebral, I'm very cognitive, like I live in my brain. I've always but even before I think I told you when I first met, I had like a little bit of like of an electrolyte imbalance this past summer, and it kind of like really opened my eyes up to like the mind body and the physiological relationship is a two-way street. Like I'm always like, oh, my mind impacts my body, but also too the body impacts the mind. And I guess like I guess like let's say you do all the things right and you kind of reset your gut. Um like how long like got like if you got a little bit off track, like what is the time frame if like going down the wrong road that you kind of have to like detour and like go back to like not do like crazy like not damage but like not to like erode the progress that you have made.
Yeah. It depends how far off track you are and how stressed you are.
Got it.
So I can
Okay.
already tell my high stress clients, kids, um, they're top of the ladder, they're just traveling nonstop. I already can see that those folks do need extra support to stay in balance.
Hmm.
Those folks will gain weight back if they don't take care of their stress. So we do have our hormone balancing creams to support that. Let's soothe your stress because we know you're going to get back into your old world, into your old stress environment. You're a powerhouse. You need stress support. So
Hmm.
that's where our natural hormone balancing creams come in. For other folks who maybe go crazy on a vacation or they went wild in Cabo, they're gonna need to like reset pretty quickly because that's very like off track. But in some cases, some clients do get off track slowly, and I don't know, maybe over the course of a year they could gain like 5 pounds back. But that's just like little by little.
Yeah.
As long as they're taking care of themselves, soothing their stress, then our rebound rate is 3 times as low as other weight loss centers because of that. We're
Amazing.
so
That's amazing.
heavy. Yeah, we're so heavy on the education piece. Like, let's know your body. Let's know that you're going to go back into your same world, work, family
Hmm.
life, all
Hmm.
that. You're going to gain the weight back or you have a certain likelihood of gaining the weight back. So let's be mindful. Here are the tools. I'm really
Yeah.
big on like giving the tools.
Yes.
Here's your
Yes.
go-to. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, take this, do that, detox drink. Yeah.
Yeah, as actually too, somebody was telling me that she was actually on a podcast previously. She's a twin. They have Jan and Jillian. They are big on like boundaries. They have a mediation coaching business as well and a business consulting business. And I found it, she actually was just telling me personally that she detoxes quite frequently, and I found it so surprising because in I guess American culture and Europe it's really big, but she was telling me that, but in our culture it's I have never even heard of these detoxes that she was talking about. So it how often should we be detoxing?
I mean, my husband and
Depends
I
on,
committed to,
yeah.
I think
Depends on the per
once a
people probably. Yeah.
I think once a year is great.
Okay.
That's why we
Okay.
have a couple different programs. So we have our full-on metabolic reset program. Um, you don't have to do that every year, but for me personally, I believe in doing something every year. I'm the type that lives my life. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to go on vacation. I eat my kids' leftovers.
Got it. Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Um, but yeah, even this summer, I know I went on a cruise. Not the
Yeah.
cleanest. I did have certain foods, starches, and as soon as I came back, I could see like little signs. I could see my skin acting up, um, dryness, certain things, and that was my mini detox. So I did our little gut health program.
Oh,
Really
awesome.
simple. Yeah. So I think as needed and like once a year is a really good rule of thumb.
Okay, once a year. Yeah, and I know that people get like, I mean, like I know you shared on the first podcast, but like the results that people get from your programs are like what, like 20 to 30 pounds weight loss in a month?
In some cases, yeah, the most a guy has lost is 29.
Wow,
Um,
that's amazing.
the average is 18. This is stored fat you're losing too. You're not losing muscle mass, not like the
Yeah.
GLPs. There are no needles, absolutely no
Yeah,
needles.
no, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Um,
it's yeah.
yeah, no strenuous exercise and no starvation. If anything, I'm having my clients eat more than what's suggested because if you get in starvation mode on our program, then you're not going to lose the weight. So we really want to rev up your metabolism, get rid of that inflammation. Um,
Yeah.
inflammation is a huge, huge objective because you can hold up to 8 pounds of inflammation in your gut alone. Yeah,
Really?
never mind, yeah, the extremities or the headaches. Um, yeah, that kind of fluid retention. I mean, all of those are considered fluid retention. It's not just bloating, but swelling in your
Uh-huh.
feet, headaches, especially PMS headaches, migraines.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think anybody who, especially women, I know that you specialize working, but like even, I said men, you work with men as well. So Cher works with men too, but inflammation is a huge factor in, how our body, are kind of it's like the essential part of the healing process and how are your immune system and your immune, gut health and all that fun stuff. So, but I know for instance, I was just talking to another person in the wellness space that unfortunately our diet, like our standard American diet, which obviously I know you work with your clients a lot on diet, is very inflammatory based. Like all the foods we eat, like are told to eat, you know what I mean? Or that have a label with, seed oils are highly inflammatory, unfortunately.
Yeah. The food pyramid. I mean, we're all taught about the food pyramid, right? Let's
Mhm.
have certain amount of dairy and breads every
Mhm.
day. I mean, that's ingrained in us, right?
Yep.
Uh,
But I heard that you should flip the food pyramid like on its head. Like that's really how we should be eating. Because isn't it it's a grain isn't it like grains at the bottom
mhm.
and then fruit at the like fruit and vegetables toward the top. Like we should actually put like we should be eating more fruits than vegetables and not and obviously like, the grains, less grains or less, at least like less like whole, white, white flour.
Yeah, that's actually a practice we have at home too. Like I hide the bread and rice, even dairy, that'll be like last. And I've actually seen
Yeah.
that in other cultures where they start off with the proteins and veggies. And if they're still hungry, then we'll bring in the rice as needed
Mm,
to just fill you up.
interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting you brought up like culturally because also too I find that like I mean I'm gonna be honest, I love a good carb. Like I mean from New Jersey, we have good bagels here, good pizza, like I love bread, like as you said, but it's so hard, especially during now because of like the holidays and everything. Like but I always tell people like especially with bread, like bread should only have like 4 or 5 what ingredients like flour, salt, yeast, water. Like it really shouldn't be this like so like and I tell this people all the time because I go to this restaurant that is like the epitome of farm to table and they have bread there that the chef actually breeded a form of wheat like a whole wheat that is like very nutritious and his inspiration behind it was like he's like go to a grocery store and look at a bag of bread like just any bag like and look at what's in it and it's like that'll open your eyes to like that's what like everybody's like oh yeah bread yeah no but it's like that's what you're putting in your body.
For
Oh,
sure.
the oses, right? Like the glucoses, and I forget what all the oses are. They're t top of mind. I was on the phone on the podcast with the doctor like last week, and he was telling me he was going down to like the cellular level. I was like, whoa! I was like, this is we're getting really crazy here.
Yeah. Well, the same can be said about not just food, but the supplements that we take
Yeah,
in.
true.
And yeah, even I had one client on a hormone balancing cream, like, oh, I'm taking progesterone cream. And I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, let's compare with mine. And the list was so long as well. I mean, alcohol, a lot of artificial stuff in there. So yeah, heavy metals are also hiding, even though we think we're taking care of ourselves. And imagine the work that your gut needs to do to process all the oses and all the heavy metals and the sugars and the alcohol. Um, yeah, on the daily, right?
Well, I always say, like, I think I keep referencing back because me and Dr. Aaron Chapo, the episode's up on my YouTube channel, we're talking about gut health, and he was like, "There's no other organ like in your body that like where that has to like digest, process food. It has to like get rid of excess food. It's such a it works so hard, your gut. Like, and I
Hmm.
don't think people realize like I think people we take for granted um like what our gut does for us on a daily, like how hard this organ is working on a daily basis for us.
Totally. Um, Oh my gosh. But like I'm seeing more and more though that a lot of women are starting to wake up to it. Some women
Hmm.
have had gut issues in their 20s, and they may have been on birth control since their
Uh,
teens that like link to that. Yeah, that excess estrogen.
hmm.
So it's funny, like I turned 40 this year and a lot of my friends did, and the bloating has started. It started with me. So all of a sudden, like, oh, my body can take whatever. I used to do shots. Now, like,
Yeah.
where's this coming
Yeah. Now you're like, oh, not anymore.
from? Yeah. So our gut has done so much for us, but yeah, it is one organ that you really want to take care of
Yeah.
continually, not just once a year. But your gut needs love because of the connection with your mental
Your
health.
brain.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I guess we should talk. I mean, I'm so fascinated by this. I'm sure you would know much more than me about it, of like the connection between your gut and your brain. Because obviously, like, you think biologically, you're like, oh, like that doesn't make any sense, but how does that work? Like, I'm even like super interested in it because I really don't know I mean, I know there's a connection, obviously, but the intertwine, I guess, like, because obviously, like, when you have a symptom of poor, like, on a hormone imbalance or anything gut related could be like brain fog, like, you know what I mean? Like, if your gut health isn't right, your brain might not work. So, how does that all work?
Oh,
Hard, complicated, I know, complicated answer.
I mean, my brain is going everywhere. It's not just your brain, but I think the first thing comes to mind is your serotonin.
Yeah.
So even just today, I talked to someone like, oh, my physician's going to put me on an extra antidepressant. And
Mm,
I started talking about their gut health. And we need to I think it just offers another view. If
yeah.
90% of your serotonin is made in your gut, how about we try making your gut a little happier?
Yeah.
An indirect relation too is estrogen. So that excess
Mm.
estrogen, it's a stimulatory hormone. There's a reason why we have it, but if we have too much, sometimes it can cause anxiety and
Mm.
you can't turn your mind off and we can't
Yeah.
sleep well. So being unable to metabolize that excess estrogen and having it contribute to the candida yeast overgrowth, that just has such a negative cycle. So you're
Mm.
continually having this overgrowth, this candida yeast overgrowth, and from too much estrogen, it's now beyond the brain fog. Now you're having like lower energy, you're having maybe some anxiety, maybe a little depression too. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm observing with clients. If
Mm.
we're able to just balance out, because we need that progesterone to calm us down, to help us sleep. I mean, sleep alone. If you're not sleeping well, who are
Oh
you?
my
Like,
gosh,
I
sleep is
don't
so important. I could
know.
go. I actually am meeting in a couple weeks with she's a therapist, but also she started a sleep coaching business because she realized that like her clients would come in and they'd be like, like I feel depressed, I feel anxious, and she's like, she would tell ask, she literally was like, how was your sleep this week? And they'd be like, awful, and she's like, well, yeah, like your how would you feel if you didn't get any sleep and your body was screaming like, help me, you know what I mean? Like sleep
Yeah.
is so I've had issues with my, I mean, I feel like my whole adult life I've had not issues, but just inconsistent sleep. I sometimes I sleep really well, and I've been given every single medication in the book from, trazodone to Ambien to everything. And I don't like to use sleep medication because I know that all of them have very bad long-term side effects on your brain and on your memory. So I try to, people always, my psychiatric nurse says just, use them as needed for a couple of months and don't, like, it's not like, somebody who has been on and also too, I'm sure you've seen those crazy stories of, uh, but people want like driving cars while they're like asleep, but like they're on Ambien and they don't remember anything, but they're like kind of sleepwalking. I don't know if you've seen
Hmm.
that, but yeah. So it's imagine like what that's doing to your brain, you know?
Totally. Yeah. We're in a society of uppers and downers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the one thing that I like to do with work, and I'm sure you would working with your clients and with like all of us kind of in this wellness, mental health, holistic view. It's a very like complex thing. It's not just one thing, right? Like it's not just your gut health. It's also your, as you said, like your stress management. It's your, for some people, and like for me, like your spirituality, your mental health,
Mhm.
your, it's all these things combined to then like be as whole and as, balanced um as you can be, which is very difficult in the society we live in.
Well, that's what I love about our signature Becoming Balanced program. Clients will be like, well, why do I need to meditate? Why do I have to
Mhm.
journal? Why do I have to write what I'm grateful for? Why do I have to have certain foods? And it's like, our goal is to be so efficient and fast with this. We want to shock your
Mhm.
body and get it balanced quickly. This is
Yeah.
how the fast weight loss happens. And really, the weight loss is more of a side effect because we're doing a full metabolic reset. Your
Mhm.
gut, your brain, your hypothalamus, all of it all at once. So, yeah, it's so needed. And I firmly believe in that because my last job, my last 9 to 5, I worked for a supplemental company. I mean, I had
Mhm.
access to a mile long of like all these free
Yeah.
supplements. Like I
Yeah.
was just popping them. I was postpartum. My hair was falling out. Let me try this. Let me try that.
Oh no.
I mean, I was one of those for sure. Let me try all
Yeah.
this supplement. Let me
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
DIY, right?
Totally.
Do a little research. Magnesium, I need this. But if something is off, it's like putting a band-aid on it. Or if you fix this issue, it's like, what about that? Especially if you have multiple root cause imbalances, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's what's so powerful about doing, as you said, that whole like that whole metabolic reset, because you're addressing that root, hopefully in that process. You're gaining the root cause of it, or you're seeing if your estrogen is a little high. All that, all those things, because, uh, you know, as we all know, even in any sort of reset, healing, what have you, like you can only put a band-aid on something for so long,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
until your body or your brain or something says stop. And I never want anybody to like go through a anything, but like I mean that's what happened to me when I before I changed my whole life and changed my career. Like my body, I went through like probably the worst, probably even worse than when my mother passed away, like depressive episode, like wasn't sleeping, panic attacks, like, and it was because I was like pushing my, like, I basically was just in a really toxic, unfortunately, work environment. But that was causing so much stress in my life that and I kept on just burning the candle at both ends until like literally like my body and my brain were like, no, like you can't do this anymore. So I had to like go on disability at work and all that fun stuff, which wasn't fun. I'm being facetious, but I did then had to like reset my life. Like I was like, all right, I ended up changing my whole life, but I'm not saying people have to do that, but I never want people to even get to that point. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you should never have to get to that point of like extreme burnout or depression or like there are things preventatively you can do to take care of your body to not get you to that point.
Oh, it's all intertwined, right? We
Yeah,
can kind of not blame, but situations do impact us. And then our
absolutely.
gut, our bodies pay the price. And then are we
Mhm.
making our situation better? Well, I don't have the energy. I'm too tired. So we're in survival mode, right?
Yeah.
Um, some of the transformations I have seen, I'm so proud to say, because you're not alone. A lot of people are in that stressful work environment. It is so
Yeah.
common. But they're still ambitious. They want to kill it. They've been
Hmm.
working so hard, right? But
Yep.
I have seen that organically, clients come in to lose weight. All right.
Yes,
But
that's the main reason. But then
yeah,
you look at the whole picture.
yeah, we shift their mindset. There's more gratitude. They're sleeping better. They're more awake. They appreciate their bodies. They have more energy. So I've seen some leave their jobs or some even get that promotion. So now
Yeah.
they're like gunning it, like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm showing up better. Or like, one went from, she lived a couple miles away from here, from like our
Hmm.
center, wouldn't come in, didn't want to do face-to-face Zooms, like
Okay.
no like facial stuff. And then we only talked over the phone. Then after we were done, she actually went back into the workforce after not working.
Really?
Yeah, I guess she wasn't very comfortable being out there, being public, but
Mm.
yeah, she went back into getting a part-time job and then back into the nursing field after not working and struggling with her health issues. I think she had a thyroid issue as well. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, wow. And she went totally back.
Yeah, well, when you have like the energy, and
Yeah.
more awake.
You're like, yeah, you're just like, yeah, like you're awakening yeah, you're kind of like, yeah, like invigorating that spark that wasn't there before. That that's amazing. And I think that's another thing too, because we were talking previous to our call, like especially, and listen, I'm not saying no, like of course you work with men. You mentioned that one man that lost what 29 pounds. That's amazing. But I think women especially. And we talked about this on our first that kind of intertwined in our first podcast. Like we have so many roles. Like, you know, you're a mom, you're a business owner, you're I don't know, an aunt, you know, and the list goes on. You know what I mean? Like you're a daughter, you know what I mean? Like when it never ends for and I'm not saying similar men, like their uncles, their fathers. Like we have so many roles in this society that like how do we like keep up? And then also to like it's almost like how do we balance it all and then also balance ourselves, you know? It's like it's a
Yeah.
struggle.
Oh my gosh, I am the queen of shortcuts. Like, I know
I
I'm all
love
about
it.
like, oh, eat whole foods, but I have like frozen organic diced broccoli in the
No, but
freezer.
that's
Like,
amazing. Yeah, that's
so I'm all
awesome.
about
Yeah.
shortcuts. And then yeah, like, supplements, the food quality is not that great. I need my quick energy. Someone was asking, like, what, you have all these pills, what do I take? And they're just like
Yeah.
four key ones.
Yeah.
Couple for your gut, omegas for your nervous system, throw in your multivitamin and your hormone balancing creams.
And you'll
These
be
are
good.
these, yeah, these are my little ways of like the shortcut way to just keep it all together.
Yeah, like no, honestly, like if you think about it, right? Like, I mean, I take a I mean, you're what, taking maybe three vitamins every day and then using a cream that, I mean, I use face cream and I wash, if you can wash your face and brush your teeth, these are things that can be easily incorporated into your life, like every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's what I think too is like so power and I also too love that in your program, and you mentioned this, that you incorporate like gratitude because I think that is I know it sounds so cliche and I even like hating myself for even saying this, but it's like when you do really come from a place of gratitude and appreciation and that kind of energy versus like stress or pressure or you know, trying to push yourself, it's a different experience and it's more enjoyable,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, joy, that word alone, like how many times do you hear that? How many times do you hear people having the intention to feel joy, to have joy,
Hmm.
especially in this society.
Yeah, well, and then what is, I mean, the serotonin is what gives us, happiness and joy. Like that's the literally the chemical and that lives. And like I would love to ask, I actually asked this to Dr. Aaron Chapa as well. I'd love your take on this because I feel, I mean, we all know we're in a mental health crisis. I mean, there's people need help more than ever these days. But do you think that there is a direct correlation to like our gut health and like not saying it's the root cause of it, but it's not helping that I guess our diet and I would say on the sad American diet. Do you think that's contributing to like the mental health crisis in America?
In a way, yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Um, I'll talk from like personal experience. Yeah, like if I am having a bloated day, if my gut is out of whack, it impacts my mental health. It impacts my
Mm-hmm.
so what brain fog, low energy, and then how does that impact your confidence and how you show up,
Yes.
your
Yes.
ego and your identity, you know? And
Absolutely.
then, you might mark it as a loss. Oh, I wasn't productive today. And then if you feel like that again today, imagine that compounding effect on how you see yourself, not just how you're performing or how other people see you, but on your self-esteem, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing that I love to use the term like compounding because I think of the term compounding like the financial. I'm like, oh yeah, like it more like, more in like improve like, oh yeah, you're compounding it, you're gaining more. But there's also actually was talking to somebody yesterday, one of a friends of mine, and she unfortunately lost her husband a couple weeks ago. It was a very like long time coming, but still a very obviously devastating loss. And I told her that I was like, and she's like, I'm going through the grieving process and all that stuff. But because she was kind of like in this very long, drawn out, he had Alzheimer's, so like a very long, drawn out process before he unfortunately passed away. I was like, unfortunately, your grief and your pain and whatever villain said feeling that she has, negative feeling, unfortunately, I was like, has been compounded for such a long time. So I just told
Mhm.
her honestly, and I wasn't diagnosing her. I was just talking to her as a friend. I was like, your nervous system has been dysregulated for so long. Like I can't tell. And I'm a professional. Like I can't tell you how long it's going to take you to heal from this because that's how much your your emotions have been negatively compounded for that long of a time.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
in related to like your world, look at how I did a personal development course like last week. So this is fresh on me.
ooh, very fun. Oh,
I
that's
know. I know
cool.
it's one of those again, like every decade or so, or every 5 years, right?
I love that.
Um,
I love that.
but certain stories that we hear as kids, that boy thought I was ugly, or
Mhm.
my mom did this. Imagine that compounding effect from one event of as a 3-year-old and how in some situations that could drive certain people's actions and how they see themselves. And, I've in my workshop, I saw some 50-year-olds still carrying that.
Oh, oh, absolutely. I mean, I will say, as a mental health professional and baby therapist, we carry our childhood wounds are probably some of the deepest wounds that we have, and we carry them throughout adulthood. Like, we are, I always see people as like, I saw this on Instagram the other day. It's like in your relationships, you have, your core self now is who you are, like Cher and your husband. But then you also have like little Cher as like, whatever mini version you want to say. And then you have your nervous system in. So when you're looking at just one relationship with one other person, whether it be friend, spouse, what have you, so look at all the people that are coming to the table.
Mm, yeah.
It's very,
Um,
like because you have your nervous system, you have your inner child, you have your core self, hopefully. You also have like your protective parts. Like you have all these things coming and it's like and then you're expected to have, a harmonious, successful relationship. It's a lot.
I like the way one therapist put it. She's like, imagine a Toyota Sienna, and there's like 3-year-old you, 8-year-old you in the car, and maybe your husband's 8-year-old self, and your husband's
Yeah.
3-year-old self. Who is driving? in this
Yes,
argument,
yes.
in this issue, in this situation, who's the driver? Is it 40-year-old you?
I
Yeah.
love that. No, I love that because you're right. Like, I mean, and that going back to like, I do a lot of it's called internal family systems work with my individual clients and my not with like my coaching clients. That's because this is definitely therapy, everybody. But they call an internal family systems is basically this. I think I mentioned this. I mention this all the time because I love internal family systems. But it's the concept that we're made of parts and we have our core selves, but our exiles are our inner child wounds, and we call them exiles because those are the ones that we bury in the basement and we exile them because they are probably one of the most painful. Because as you mentioned, like, and a lot of times, I hate saying this, and I don't want to parent blame. I know you're a parent, but a lot of times they come from our parents, like indirectly or unintentionally. It's just because that's our family structure and our family belief system. So, it's just kind of ingrained in us. So I'm learning as a baby family therapist of how impactful your that first system and your childhood and your a relationship with your caregiver is and how it impacts you. It's really amazing. I can't think of one case where the person's family hasn't impacted their adulthood, you know?
Oh, of course
I
not.
mean, like, it's like,
I know I'm going to screw up my kids in one way or
no,
another. I
oh
know.
no, no, I'm not saying that. Oh no, I'm
No,
not
no, no.
saying
There's
that at all.
always, but there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
And I know that they're at this stage, 1 and 3, they're young, their egos, everything we do is all about them.
Hmm.
But I do expect that at a certain age, obviously, like as a parent, you don't want your kid to go through the same struggles you did. So this
Absolutely.
whole like new age parenting, I know that at some point I want to receive feedback from him or my daughter about like
Yeah. Like
where,
how am I
how did you
doing?
perceive, how did you perceive a certain situation? What meaning did you attach to it? Let's address it. When were you mad at me? What happened at X age? And do our best. My husband and I will do our best to like undo it as we go, not wait till they're 30 and then you have a family therapy session, you know?
Yeah. No, but I love that your like approach to parenting in that way because I think also too, and I will say because of like, the different just of generationally, right? Like that's another thing. We don't know what we're getting from past generations. Things are passed down to us whether we like it or not. But I think there's definitely more resources out for parents now, especially around like, how parenting impacts development, as you said, like their conditioning and all that. Back in the day, there wasn't as many resources out there for parents to really like give them the tools to help them shape their child in a healthy manner so they don't have attachment wounds when they grow up or what have you.
Oh my gosh, this morning I was putting on my son's shoe and I told him you need to do this. Like same
Yeah.
tone. This is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my voice. He's
Yeah.
like, "Why are you yelling at me?" I'm like, "Boy, you don't even know what yelling
Yeah, exactly.
is."
Like you don't know what yelling is. Like the wooden spoon, you don't know what yeah, like yeah, yeah.
I told him my mom used to yell and you could hear the house, you could feel the house
Shake.
shake. He's
Yeah.
like, "What do you mean the house shook?" So,
That's hysterical. Oh my
yeah,
God, that's so funny. But
I
Cher, this has
know.
been once again another amazing conversation with you. And for everybody who is in the LA area, but Cher also takes online clients, so everywhere around the world. Her website is bebalancedla.com, and you are on all the socials, I know. So it's bebalancedla. And then you can also go to her website to book a consult, or I know you have a hormone quiz on your website as well, so check that out.
Yeah, they
Um,
can go to bebalancednow.com to take that free
Perfect.
little hormone quiz. You'll already
Yeah.
like find out where things could be off.
Awesome. And I'll definitely put that in the show notes for everybody. But Cher, thank you so much for yet another wonderful conversation, and I'll talk to you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, thank
All right.
you.
Of course.